everyone, I'm Dr. Shirazi, a board certified dermatologist, and today I'm gonna let you in on a little secret that a lot of people don't talk about, but they should, and that is 4 ways that fillers make you look older, which is the opposite of what people are seeking out to do when they are going in for these cosmetic procedures. So if you are one that's even thinking about doing injectables, you have to watch this video. I think it's going to be very insightful, and I am being 100% honest here. I do fillers every single day in my practice. It can certainly make people look younger and keep staying younger for decades. And sometimes I call those people in their thicksties because you can't tell if they're 30 or they're 60. So I call them thicksties. So I'm gonna spill the tea, but before we get started, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe, and comment below. Let me know if you have any questions. Number 1, unbalanced filling of the face. I see this so often. People will come in and they will ask for cheek filler or jawline filler, and they've already been to multiple practices and they've had the same area of the cheek filled time after time after time, and now they are walking into my office and they have these really wide, high cheekbones, and their temples are sort of sunken in, and their jawline is sort of out and more square than ever because they've just been focused on filling those areas over and over and over again without paying any attention to their chin, to the temples, and to areas around the eye. So when you're doing fillers, it's so important to look at the face as one cosmetic unit. Everything has to be balanced. If your temples are sunken in and hollow and you have these really big cheeks, it's gonna look unnatural. It's gonna throw it off. It's actually gonna make you look older, like somebody who has had a lot of plastic surgery. And so I wanna caution you about that. Make sure that as you are getting your fillers done, that you are paying attention to how one cosmetic unit can affect another. So if you're gonna fill the cheeks, you've gotta make sure that there's an even, smooth contour from the forehead down to the cheekbone, and there's not this disruption with hollowness in your temples. Number 2, too much filler. Again, too much of a good thing is not a good thing. Guys, it's not the poison, it is the dose. And I'll tell you, I had somebody who walked into the office and she had this red, painful nodule from where she'd had fillers over the years. She had been getting Voluma injections injected into the cheeks every 6 months for the past 10 years. And you know, bless her heart, she's very consistent about going in and getting this cheek filler right on the dot twice a year. Well, Voluma is a very big filler. It doesn't break down very quickly. In fact, it can take years before it gets broken down. So here she is, you know, young, in her 30s, and she has had so much Voluma injected into the cheeks that's now causing some problems. Now, Voluma or Restylane or Juvederm, these are high molecular weight hyaluronic acids that are made into a gel and placed under the skin, similar to like an implant. Now, our own body, our own skin has hyaluronic acid. In fact, high molecular weight hyaluronic acids are anti-inflammatory. So they help suppress inflammation and they actually have a calming effect. However, this is where it gets tricky. Low molecular weight hyaluronic acid is very pro-inflammatory, meaning it causes and triggers a lot of inflammation. So what does that mean? Well, when you put that Voluma in, over time, it's gonna get degraded in your skin, right? It's going to get into smaller and smaller hyaluronic acid chains, which are pro-inflammatory. So you are creating an inflammatory reaction under your skin. And what happens with inflammation in the skin? Well, long-term inflammation leads to scarring and hardening of the skin. Now, if you are going in once a year, once every few years, and you are just doing small amounts of fillers here and there as you need it, you have nothing to worry about, because we do want some amount of scarring, some fibrosis, because that does help cause that skin to pull tight, because scars, if you think about them, they are smooth and tight. So again, it's not the poison. Hyaluronic acid fillers are wonderful, tools that dermatologists use. It is the dose and how much of it you're putting in that equates to how much inflammation you are inducing. And I can tell when somebody's overdone their filler and now they're, in my office, in my chair, and I'm injecting the filler, that skin feels so hard. It feels like a rock. It almost feels like they have cement under their skin. I literally have to change my needle, when I'm working on their skin, and that's because they have so much fibrosis, so much scarring from this pro-inflammatory reaction. A lot of times these people have been getting fillers since they were 22. They go in every 6 months because they heard, fillers are great for anti-aging. Why would anybody think that this is a bad idea? Well, if you're starting in your 20s and you're going in regularly, by the time you're in your 30s and your 40s, your entire native skin structure may have changed. So my suggestion to you is to really pick your injector wisely. These are still medical procedures, and somebody with a really in-depth knowledge of fillers and skin interaction will be able to guide you and know when it's time to do fillers and where to put it and how much to put it and what plane to really put it in. So the other thing that happens is that chronic inflammation gives you chronic swelling, and that's why people look puffy. Their skin looks like bread dough. Some people refer to it as doughy, and it just doesn't look natural. It doesn't look more youthful, and it can cause problems. And dissolving fillers can be a challenge because you dissolve a little bit, then you have to correct where your volume deficit is, and a lot of your natural collagen and elastin is getting replaced by collagen that's found in scars. That's type 3 collagen. So just know that filler stays around much longer than 6 months or a year, which brings me to number 3. Filler migration. I see this a lot in the lips. People come in and they're like, lip filler does not last on me. I have it done and 6 months later or 2 months later, it's gone. Well, if you've had Juvederm in the lips, which is a very great filler for the lips, it's very popular. Juvederm is very cohesive, which means that the molecules in that filler like to bind to one another. So what happens when you put filler in the lips, over time, that filler can move out because we use our mouth, we talk, we laugh, we move things. And so sometimes over time, especially as you get older, because your collagen is not as dense as it was when you were 20 and now you're in your 40s. And what happens is now the filler has a much easier time to move up from the actual lip to the skin above the natural lip. And then it looks like your lip filler is gone. So then you go back and you get more filler put in the lips. Well, guess what? It's even more likely to move up because the Juvederm molecules are cohesive. They attract to one another. So you already have Juvederm all around your lips, and you're putting more into the actual lip that's now migrating out. And over time, what happens is the area above the lip is getting fatter and thicker, causing heaviness above that lip, making it look smaller as it's weighing it down and making it almost curve in. What's interesting then is I dissolved this filler that's migrated all around the lips, and now you can see more of that person's lip, because really what you want to see is an upslope of the lip. And when there's a lot of filler above the lip, it can't have that natural up curve that we like to see with the lips. So be really, really careful. Same thing can happen in the bottom. You can have so much filler that moves out that now the area around the lip is fatter and thicker and bigger and overhangs the actual lip. And number 4 is using the wrong filler in the wrong location. I see this a lot too, and it's always easier to prevent these mistakes than try to go back and fix them. So Juvederm should never be placed anywhere around the eyes. I'm talking anywhere. Don't put it under the eyes, over the eyes. Don't put it in the temples, don't put it in the cheeks, because Juvederm is a very hydrophilic filler, meaning it attracts a lot of water, much more so than other fillers like Restylane. So when you put Juvederm around the eyes, what is it gonna do? It's going to make you have puffy eyes, give you eye bags, and worsen your dark circles. That is not the look that you were going for, and I understand that. But you have to be really cautious about the filler that you choose for the location on the face. And lastly, I'll just mention that fillers in the chin can be very tricky, because if you inject too much in one session in a very short period of time, you can put a lot of pressure on the bone, which can actually cause bone to resorb. We notice this with chin implants, that after time, that bone gets crumbled and gets resorbed from the pressure of the implant. The same can go with fillers if used too much. So generally over 2 mLs of filler in the chin in one session can cause that bone to recede. So you have to be really careful with that. This anti-aging journey, we're in it for the long haul. It is not something you just want to, gunshot and just put as much as you can before the age of 35. You want to make sure that you are doing it in a very strategic and well-balanced fashion. So if you found this information valuable, please send it to a friend, share it with someone, subscribe and like this video, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Until next time, thanks for tuning in.